What was Westport like, Frank, when you were a young fella now? Back in the 50s,
Back in the early days.
Where did you go to school?
I went to school with the Christian Brothers, and then I went down to Waterford. Because my other older brothers, Aidan and Kieran, was in Waterford, but I escaped out of it. It was to me, it was like a concentration camp.
And what part of Waterford were you in?
In the city.
In the city?
De La Salle College.
Oh, De La Salle.
Yeah.
How'd you get down there?
Well, there was a cousin of ours seemingly there, and then Aidan went, and then Kieran went. Now, why the hell they went down that far? But I ended up in it anyhow. For a while, but until I, as I said, I escaped. And
like back in Westport, how are things back in Westport? What used you do as a kid now?
As a kid, well, I used to come to the quay a lot. We were born on Mount Street, just across from the shoe factory.
Yeah.
And my grandfather and grandmother were up here, O'Malley's, up on the hill at the quay. So we used to spend a lot of our summers here. And
fishing and
you do a bit of fishing. Whereas kids, you'd be playing down the point there and bit of football. It
was a good spot for swimming, yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great for swimming them days.
Yeah.
Like the hotel was there, I don't ever remember it being open.
Never in it, were you?
Never in it. Well, it was closed any time. But that was it. Then I came back, and I came back from Waterford, started working for my dad in the shop, in the radio shop.
Radio shop. It was up and going that time, it was.
It was going well at that time. We used to go to Connemara and out down to Ackle, and that time I knew everyone in Ackle. And we used to go with Brendan Quinn and Paddy Morden before Paddy started in the factory. And I worked there for a while. And then I left in the 70s, worked for Coca-Cola above in Dublin for 3 or 4 years. And came back and I started up selling two-way radio for boats and CBs and all that. I used to import them from America when nobody knew where they were.
I remember them well. There was a call on it. What was the name of it? The handle.
Everybody had a handle, and I was known as the Red Fox. I'm not too red now.
And
but I spent years at that, and then we went from...
Was there money in that?
There was at that time.
There was, yeah.
There was. I used to go from Donegal to Cork, putting them into boats.
And what was the range of them?
Well, you could actually talk from here to the States.
Would you?
If you had the right conditions.
Set up, yeah.
But on average, you'd be able to talk from here to Castlebar, a bit like that, you know.
They were huge rage, weren't they?
They were.
Everybody had them.
Every car, and we sold thousands of them at the time.
Were they really radio phones? Were they radio phones?
They were radio, yeah. But they were like, it's a hobby radio. And then we went into VHF radio for the boats.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were the first in the country to do that. And again, we used to travel all over Ireland.
Who was making them at the time?
They were made, I used to bring them in from America, but they were made in Japan.
Oh, they were?
They were a brand called Midland.
And they were good?
They were best. There's still some of them, I've seen them boats even today, that's 30 years, some of them. So, and
John Walsh and I used to have one down here.
Yeah.
I remember John, he was a big man.
Oh, yeah, poor old John.
Poor John, he died a couple of years ago,
Yeah, he'd be missed. John was into it as well, and John was into the boats. And
who were the characters down here at the time? There was a few of them around, wasn't there?
There was. You had Penny Fear. Penny had a boat as well. But he didn't bring out anglers as far as he used to potter around on his own.
Arthur McAvoy, you remember Arthur?
I remember Arthur. Who else now would be? There were a load of lads up along the...
Kipper. Kipper Joyce, where he used to be.
All along the idle wall there. They see them sitting there having a chat during the summer.
Was the idle wall active in your time now, or was it gone?
It was.
Were the fellas working off it, or...?
No, you'd come down and all the lads would be sitting along the idle wall having a chat, you know. But it wasn't as busy as the older years. I mean, John Foy often told me, like, there'd be 20 or 30 fellas sitting along the wall waiting for work and that, waiting for the coal boat or the timber boats coming into Malloy's at the time. But I remember that. I remember as a kid the coal boats coming in and the timber boats.
And it was mostly from Malloy's?
All from Malloy's.
All from Malloy's.
Yeah.
It was a big business, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a big business at that time. I mean, we never seen things as big as them, even though they were only coasters, but most of them were huge. They would only be about 10 or 11 at that time.
You know, I suppose.
Yeah. Go down home to get something off them. So